Ah, yes, so glad you could join us for this tale of woe. In 2014, a young man named Daniel was looking for a new place to live. He wanted somewhere cheap and quiet. Somewhere in rural Pennsylvania, he found an isolated home, perfect for his needs. The old house sat on 10 secluded acres, surrounded by tall trees and whispering pines. According to the listing, the house had been empty for years. Now, the rent was unbelievably low. The catch, the house needed a lot of work. But Daniel was willing to make the repairs if it meant he could live there rent-free. The landlord agreed, and soon Daniel moved right in. For the first few weeks, everything was great. Daniel enjoyed the solitude and the silence. But one day he noticed something peculiar. In the original floor plan, there was no basement door in the hallway, but now there was, and it was locked tight. There was no keyhole. He asked the landlord about it. The landlord shrugged. Old storage. Don't worry about it. But Daniel couldn't help but wonder what was down there. Then one night around 3 a.m., he awoke to strange scratching sounds coming from the other side of his bedroom wall. At first, he thought it might be mice, but then he heard voices, whispers. They seemed to come from inside the house. He sat up in bed listening. The scratching stopped and the whispers faded away. He heard a click. Then he heard footsteps near his bed. Daniel screamed. He fumbled for his phone and turned on the flashlight app. He crept toward the noise, following the beam of light. It led him to the basement door. Peering into the darkness, he saw a narrow flight of stairs descending into pitch black. His heart pounded in his chest. Was he in danger? What was down there? Against his better judgment, Daniel started down the stairs. The air grew noticeably colder. The walls were damp and the musty smell of mildew filled his nostrils. At the bottom of the stairs, he found a small room, empty except for a single wooden chair facing the wall. Daniel approached slowly. He shone his light around the room, finding nothing else. Suddenly, he noticed something strange. Scratched into the concrete wall was a message. I see you. Then another message appeared below it. Run. Daniel screamed and turned to flee. But when he reached the top of the stairs, he collapsed. Out of breath, he slid down the banister, landing on the floor with a thud. Scrambling back up, he raced from the house. Once outside, he leaned against the railing, trying to calm his racing heart. Shaking with fear, he called the landlord. The man sounded nervous. What did you do? How did you get down there? Daniel demanded answers. Finally, the landlord caved. He told Daniel about the previous tenant, Eli. He had rented the home years ago. He was a recluse. He kept to himself and was rarely seen outside. Neighbors told police that they often saw him standing in the window, staring out into the woods. But one day he vanished. Police searched everywhere, but there was no sign of a struggle. No one had seen anything. After a week, they gave up. But neighbors swore they still saw him even after all this time. The landlord had sealed the basement, hoping to prevent anyone from going down there. But apparently that didn't work. When Daniel heard this story, he felt a chill crawl down his spine. He thanked the landlord and hung up. He needed to get out of there. Quickly packing his things, he hurried to leave. But before he did, he went back to the basement door. He pushed it open. It was easy. As he stepped inside, he noticed footprints in the dust on the floor. They led from the door into the darkness, then turned and headed back. Whoever had been down there recently had only come down the stairs and not gone any further. Daniel felt a sense of relief knowing that he wasn't in danger. But as he turned to leave, the door slammed shut behind him. He rattled the handle, but it was locked. He screamed for help, but no one could hear him. Trapped in the dark, Daniel panicked. Then he heard a voice behind him. I see you. Daniel screamed again, this time in terror. Then the door clicked open and he scrambled through the opening. Outside, he ran as fast as he could, never looking back. He made it to his car and sped away. The house is still there, abandoned and empty. Locals say if you walk past it at night, you can hear whispers. And sometimes, if you listen closely, you might hear the door open. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this scary video, be sure to check out more content like this. With that, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.